This is my financial situation summed up in 5 seconds. Good morning, my gorgeous friends on the internet. In this episode, we're gonna create a UI design. A UI design. A lot of you requested more Figma tutorials, so hey, let's make one of these. These are really fun to make. So we're gonna build out this smartwatch landing page here. And I also added an extra bonus here and included a second page for you. But before we get into it, I want to thank Skillshare for sponsoring this episode. Skillshare is a super awesome online learning platform. I learned most of my UI, UX, and graphic design skills on there. I think they have excellent courses on those topics. But hey, hold on. If you're interested in learning programming, maybe HTML, CSS, JavaScript, so front-end code, they have courses on those subjects as well. And actually, they have over 35,000 courses, so you're gonna find pretty much everything you want. The awesome thing is that once you sign up, you don't really have to pay for each individual course. You have access to all of them. And I find that really good and very flexible because I can just jump through each course, see what I like, see what skills I might pick up, and it's just a very nice way to learn. And the awesome thing is that they gave me a code down that you're going to see in the description that's going to give you 2 months for free. So that's very, very awesome. And also, if the annual subscription is less than $10 a month, so it's not even that expensive. All right, thank you everybody, and let's get into the episode. Psst, hey kid, you want to come and see some UI design? All right, follow me. All right, that's not funny. That's not funny at all. Okay, let's get started. So we're gonna use Figma for this one. I have Figma open here and we're gonna create a frame. So let's go up here to the frame tool. I'm gonna click it. We're gonna go to desktop and clickety-clackety. And you know what? Before we get going on, let's pick out the colors. I picked out 3 colors for this and I wanted this to be colorful because watches should give us rainbow vibes. So let's take a look at these colors that I picked. For the text, I used a darker black color. I'm gonna go just to the Eclipse tool, and you can make kind of a small little watch up here. Swatch, not watch. So you can just drag out like one of these circles, and you can just apply a color. So this is gonna be our text color, and we're gonna use 4545 for this. Okay, so that's our text color, and we're gonna use 2 additional colors. Let's drag another circle. I can hold Alt and just drag out. And this one's gonna be FF8790. All right, so that's one. We got that nice pinkish color, and the last one is gonna be an orange color. So let's pick out that. This is gonna be F8814E. All right. This is all we need. Look at that. We have a nice little palette going. Perfect. Okay, let's drag this here. I'm gonna rename this so you can double click it and rename this to landing. Okay, everything is set up. I will provide you the images and everything that we use on my Patreon. It's gonna be free, so don't worry, you can just access all the images there. And I made this one, so let me just copy it over for you here. And this is the first image I'm going to provide you, which is just a smartwatch here. If you want to learn how to do these types of things, let me know. I use Affinity Photo to make these nice looking like this. Some people use Photoshop too, but I don't want to pay for a super expensive subscription, to be honest. I moved away from Adobe completely, even with video editing and everything, and I find it way easier and nicer to work with. So yeah, this is what we have, and we're gonna keep it this size, so it's around 450, 475 height. You can resize it to this. And I'm gonna place this on this side of the page. Now the problem here that I don't like is that we have this white color and it kind of blends with the background. And that's not good. We could like put a color on the background. So if I click on the frame here, I could go like something like that. But to be honest, I don't want to do that. I want to keep this simple because I want to play with the colors on the text and maybe just add some on the background. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna keep everything white for now. And I'm just gonna draw a shape that kind of separates this white watch from the black one. So we can go to the rectangle tool here and just drag out kind of a rectangle. Now it doesn't have to be perfect. We're gonna kind of play around with this. And I'm gonna put this in the background. So I'm gonna rename this to BG color. All right, something like that. I'm gonna just drag it inside this frame. Okay, there we go, that's what we have. And I just wanted to kind of cover up this white watch. What we can do is we can also mess around with these edges. Now, if you drag like this, it's gonna add radius to everything. We don't wanna do that. If we click up here to the corner radius tool, we have this square thingy, and we can just control each individual one. So if we get the first one, I can add like 100, and that's gonna give us kind of the curvy edges. And we can do to the third one as well, which is gonna be the bottom. Is it though? No, it's not. Yes, it is. All right, let's just drag this in like so, and we get this nice weird shape looking thing. And the cool thing is, the reason I added this curve to it is it kind of, the phone, the smartwatch also has this curve to it. So I thought it would fit with the design of the watch. Okay, let's not keep it like this. Because it's still not that separate. We cannot see it that well. So we can add a gradient, and we're gonna add this gradient from these two colors. So go to the fill, we can go to linear, and let's go for this one. Let's add this one. And for the other one, let's bring up the opacity and click on this one. Or should we do it reverse? Let's do it reverse. We can just drag this and move it around. And you know what? I like to keep these up here, but Figma kind of automatically does it for you as well. They kind of have the colors used in the document here, down here below. So, hey, whatever floats your boat. If you don't want to do this, you can just pick it from here. Okay, did I pick a color? There we go, that's the right color. And as you can see, now we have more separation. Everything looks nice, everything looks fancy. You can kind of play around with this, make it look the way you want. Just experiment with this. Hey, design is about creativity and coming up with nice things. We're gonna see, we might modify this in a bit. Okay, the second thing I wanna do is add a title down here. So let's just drag out some text, and we're kind of gonna see how everything fits here. Let's do get energized, all right? Because, hey, sports. This is gonna be, let's do 64 pixels on this one, all right? And I messed around a lot with some fonts. The thing I liked is called Playfair Display, all right? So this is the one we are gonna use. And I'm gonna use bold on this, so it kind of pops out even more. Okay, 64, there we go. Let's add kind of a text underneath to kind of describe what these watches are good for. And let's just say your new personal health coach, okay? There we go. Add the dot because it looks fancier. Okay, so we have these two. We're gonna make this smaller because right now we cannot really differentiate the importance of these two. They have kind of the same importance, so you wouldn't tell the difference, but this is kind of like a title, and this is kind of like a subtitle. So the way you can differentiate, again, is you can just change it to regular. As you can see now, it emphasizes this more rather than this. So that's one way to do it. You can also mess around with font size. So if I make this smaller, obviously this pops out more. And let's bring this to 2 lines so it doesn't stretch that much. Something like that. Okay, so there we go. So there's multiple ways you can also do it by changing color. So hey, let's do it. Look, just change the color, and let's also change this big one to this lighter color, and there we go. We can differentiate text even more. Let's try to do bold on this one, because I think it's a bit too skinny and it's harder to see if we do it with normal. So yeah, that looks okay for me. Okay, let's stick also a button down here to like a buy button or something. Let's drag out, let's not make it too big. About 200 pixels is fine. And the height, let's do 70, 75, something like that. Let's go 70. Okay, for this one, I mean, we have the colors here, so obviously we could use these. If you think this is kind of boring, we can also combine both of them together, which is what I did. We can add a linear gradient, drag this up here, drag this here, and we are just going to switch it up and just add both of these colors. Boom. Very nice. Perfect. Let's close this up. Optionally, we can also do it diagonally. There we go. So whatever floats your boat. Okay, this is gonna say buy now. So we're just gonna drag out another text box and we're gonna say buy now. Okay, now this is too big, so let's make it like 24. And the way you can align this is you can just drag these blue boxes around the container there, and then you can hit these buttons. So we can do it horizontally and vertically. Okay, let's change it to white. That's good. Okay, so that's what we have so far. Okay, now what we can do is we can add maybe some social icons down here in the corner. So this would be kind of like a footer. So I'm just gonna copy those over here. These are also gonna be provided for you. So yeah, I also made sure to change these colors to this one up here. So everything basically that you're gonna see that's black colored is gonna be this color. So let's just drag these. Thank you, Mr. Bus. Let's drag it around down here. Okay, and we're gonna position these perfectly with the grid in just a bit. I'm just trying to get some content on the screen for now. I'm not really worrying about positioning everything perfectly. Okay, let's add a small little title. This is gonna be, let's see, smartwatch. All right, keep it simple. All right, let's get that color as well. Make this around 18 pixels. Okay. Perfect, drop it down here. And also what I wanna do, if you wanna resize this, so if you don't wanna go like this and like this, because positioning gets a bit hard with this blue box, because that's the thing, it actually tries to position it after. So you can click the three dots, the magical three dots, and you can go to resizing and hit these two, and it's gonna automatically resize it. And then you can go back to fixed size. Okay, and right now I can align it any way I want because it's the size of the text. So we can just drag with Alt and drop it, and we can do 2 more copies from this. I'm gonna rename this to features, is that correct? And let's do models, okay? Whatever you want. Perfect. All right, so we got some content on the screen. We're gonna have an additional page, so I'm gonna give a little indication here that we can go down and explore more. So I got this mouse here, all right, and we're gonna drop this in the center. If you wanna align it with the center of the page easily, you can just select it and just hit here, align horizontal, boom, and then it's gonna automatically drop it. If you wanna just drop it down like this perfectly, you can hold shift and it's not gonna move. So I'm gonna drop it around somewhere here, and I'm gonna add some text right below that's gonna say like, hey, scroll down for more information. Scroll down for more. Good. All right, we're gonna leave at 18 pixels. Perfect. Let's drop it in there. All right, let's also get that same color. Boom and boom. Okay, that's what we have. Let's drop it a bit more down. Something like that. Okay, now if we want to align everything perfectly, what we can do is we can hit on the landing again, and then we can go to a layout grid, hit the plus, hit the grid, switch to columns. All right, then do 12, and then add some margin. I'm gonna add 100. This is optional, you don't need to add margin, but I'm gonna add margin. 100, I'm gonna add. Okay, very good. Now I can just easily align everything to this. Boom. So this is the first one. I can align this to this box. Okay, and this to this box. There we go. If I want to add more, I can just add it here, or I can move them across like that. Okay, that's one. We can do this one, and the button. Now careful, these are moving separately. So what we can do is grab the buy now text and the rectangle below it and hit Control G. So we can just move it as one. We can move this here again. So everything is nice and tidy. Okay, this is in the middle, so that's fine. And these, let's move these across like that. All right, let's move this here and this here. Okay, so there we go. I don't like this, so let's change it. I think I'm gonna make this a bit larger. Yeah, why not? Let's have fun with this. Kind of move it towards the center. Just give it a bit more. It's a bit more interesting. I'm gonna make it shorter. Something like that. All right, let's take a look. Let's disable this. All right, something like that. There we go. Now this still kind of looks too empty and white, so let's add a gradient in here. Now I experimented with this and I didn't like anything. A grayish color works decently, but I still didn't like the way it looked. So what I ended up doing is I went to radial and I messed around with this and I got some pretty cool effects. So go to radial gradient, there we go, and pick the first one white and the second one bring up the opacity and choose a grayish color. I think that looks pretty cool. See, so it kind of like goes inwards, so it's dark around the edges, and then in the middle it's perfectly white. So I like that effect. I think it's very cool. But be careful on the second one. Don't go too dark because then the text is going to be quite difficult to read. All right, so you want to make sure that you don't go like, yeah, boy, let's go. All right, so go like something where the text is still okay and very visible. So something like this. Oh, that's white. Never mind. So I think something like this still looks good. All right, let's take a look. And there we go. Look, that's what we have. So that's the first page. As a bonus, let's do another one because why not? These are quite fun to make. So for the second one, what we can do, just go here. I mean, we can just copy paste this. If I hit Control C, Control V, I'm gonna change this to, let's change this to, I'm gonna rename it to features. Features, okay? I'm gonna get rid of these things because I don't need them. I mean, we can keep these, I guess. Let's get rid of these. And what we can do is for this one, I'm actually gonna get rid of this background and I'm gonna show you something different. So I'm gonna do solid and we're gonna keep it white for now. And what I wanna do here is just add a title that's gonna basically give more information about the watch. So let's drag out another text box here. And this is gonna say discover the future. Wow, we're so edgy today. I love it. This is gonna be 40 pixels. So let's make this bigger. Okay, good. And for this one, let's make this a bit colorful. All right, we don't want to be dark and depressing. So let's get, which one should we get? Let's get the orange one. So grab the text, click fill, orange. Look at that, nice and colorful. Okay, let's resize this, hit the three dots, boom, boom, boom. Okay, let's drop this in the center. So up here again, you can drop it in the center like that, bring it up. And I kind of want to emphasize this. So what we can do is we can just draw some lines here. I'm gonna draw 3 lines. Let's make them smaller, something like that. Okay, that's 1. Let's make the stroke like 3. And let's change the color to the same orange. All right, I'm gonna actually drop the opacity to something like 30%. All right, I don't want this to be super emphasized. It's just something there for you to see. We can do 2, like that. If that floats your boat, I think it looks okay. Okay, so that's 1. And what I want to have here is just a card system that kind of shows the features of the watch. So I'm going to actually show you a cool way we can do this with prototyping, and that way we can easily change it whenever we want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw out a box here. So let's go up here to the line rectangle. I'm going to draw out a box. I'm going to resize this to something like 200, and the, oh, my bad, not the X value, the W here to something like 280, and the height is going to be 350. All right, so that's one box. Now take a look, we have rectangle here. I'm going to rename this to, what is it called? The UI, card UI. Okay, so this is the card UI. I'm messing up my words. Oh my god, I need to stop speaking. So what we can do here is we can make a component out of this, and whenever we make copies of this, we can easily just change this one, and everything else is going to change. So up here, we can go to create component, and now take a look. If I just multiply this, so duplicate this 2 times, if I change the color of this, take a look. Ooh, magic. All right, I'm going to keep these white, and what I'm going to do is, well, we cannot see the cards, so let's add a drop shadow to that. I'm going to show you a cool trick that we can use to make cool drop shadows. So rather than adding 1, what we can do is add 2. So down here at the effects, hit plus. All right, then we hit the sun, and for this one, let's just add a blur of 10, and then X is going to be 0 and Y is going to be 10. So basically all that means is that, hey, we have 10 pixels down here, and the blur is basically how much it crossfades. So if I drop the blur to something like 2, it's going to be very sharp. All right, so that doesn't look too good. So I'm going to do 10. And the trick here is, and let's make this a bit less visible. I think it's too sharp. So we have 10 blur, X 0, Y 10, and this opacity is going to be dropped to something like 10%. Now the trick is you add another one, so hit the plus, and what you do on this one is you basically double the Y here, so you're going to be 20, and the blur, you're going to go crazy with the blur, you're going to go to something like 40 or 50. And take a look, now you have a very cool, nice drop shadow on this. Okay, is my head cutting off? Let me resize myself. Perfect. Okay, we have the nice drop shadow. Now we can add some content. For this one, again, I got some icons off online. And what I did was basically I added the linear gradient with these 2 colors. Okay, so that's all I did. So let's drag these in here. Oh, how many did I do? All right, so as you can see what it does, it actually adds it to all the components. All right, I'm getting tired, so that's why. So be careful whatever you drop in here. Like if I do text here, which we're eventually gonna do, let's do it now actually to show you. Like if I say tracking here, it's gonna add it across all the components. Now if you do it on this one, it's not gonna work. So it's gonna add it, see? So the one that you create a component from, so the parent component, it adds it across the board. Okay, let's move everything back to a normal position. There we go. Okay, and this one, you little clock, you're giving me so many issues. Okay, so what we can do is just add some descriptive text down here. This is going to be called tracking. We're going to make these way smaller, something like 22, because this should be like the headline up here. So let's do 22. Okay, change the color to that lighter dark. We can kind of move these down here to the center, and then we can do that button that's going to center everything perfectly. We can rename this. So this is tracking. This is going to be called outdoors, and this is going to be called waterproof. Okay, good. I didn't actually perfectly do this, so let me kind of move it across and do it in the center and then move it up. Okay, now it's centered. Okay, good, very good. Let me make sure I have these as well. Okay, something like that. I'm not gonna waste too much time on that. And finally, let's just add some text. Here, again, I'm not gonna waste your time too much. You can just add some text. Track your gorgeous sleep, you little piece of love. Okay, just whatever you want. Let's change this to 18, maybe 16. Let's do 16. Don't go below 16. It's gonna be too small. Okay, and I'm also gonna add some padding here to the left and right, and change the color. You know what? Let's go colorful. Let's go linear gradient, and we're gonna go these two colors because why not? Let's have some fun. Okay, there we go. Just a very subtle gradient. Let's do it from side to side. Okay, drop it in the center. Boom. There we go. That's cool. All right, so there we go. We have our card system. And finally, what I added is just another watch down here in the middle. So we can kind of just move everything up a bit, make some space up like that. All right, and I just have another watch that I found that you can use. Again, I kind of edited everything out here and just drop this kind of in the center. You can also do everything again with the grid, so it shouldn't be too hard for you to position everything again. So there we go, kind of roughly did it. Gonna make these a bit smaller just to kind of illustrate that we have different kind of models of colors. And finally, this white is not that visible. So what we're gonna do, just go back to background again. I'm gonna drop a linear gradient. And for this one, I'm gonna just bring it to the side, okay? We're not gonna do the radial anymore. And just bring this up, drop this down a bit below. All right, that pops out and everything looks very good. So there we go, look at that. We created a 2-page layout design here. So, hope you enjoyed this one. It was kind of fun. I don't know, for some reason, whenever I do these UI designs, my voice always gets cracked up and I feel like I get very tired very quickly. I don't know, it only happens with this, so it's very funny. But I do love to make these, so if you want to see more, please let me know down in the comments. Ooh, that smartwatch looks good. I need to get myself one of those smartwatches. I don't have any smartwatches. And before I go, actually, some of you guys asked me if you can use these projects, UI designs or code or whatever we're doing in your own personal projects. And the answer is yes, please do. Everything that I'm doing here, whatever it might be, you can have access to it all. So you can straight up copy it and add it to your portfolios. I don't mind. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Until next time, I'm gonna slowly go down the elevator. So goodbye. Actually, I need to press the button there. There we go. Okay, goodbye. Goodbye.